Hi, Taz.
You all right?
I think so. I think I'm good. Today is the wife's birthday.
Oh, yeah. It is, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's good. You guys do anything exciting?
Colorado fondue.
Oh, very nice.
And then tomorrow night, Shula's
Oh, there you go.
Steakhouse. And then Saturday,
Do they have a Shula's in Orlando or is it in Tampa?
there's one in Orlando and one in Longwood, not far.
Very nice.
Hello, everyone. And
Hey, guys.
Jenaline is welcoming you back.
Well, thank you.
Were you gone? Were you?
I was gone.
I mean,
Man.
I don't think I was there either when you were gone. I mean, can I get a welcome back or?
Welcome back, Kata. Don't get jealous, Mets. Don't get jealous.
I don't. I get hurt.
Oh, yes.
I get hurt.
There's a difference.
Hey, so it's wonderful to see that there's 9 people that want to know how to make summer camp revenue without running a summer camp.
There you go, Mats. That's easy. You can call her Jenna.
Jenna. Thank you, Jenna. Nice to see you on. Hey, guys, while we're waiting, how many of you run summer camp? And there's nothing wrong with running summer camp, by the way, but give me a thumbs up. How many of you actually run summer camp? And if you want to share gross numbers, not profit, because that's your business. If you want to share gross numbers, if you run summer camp, what is your summer camp gross? I know some people that gross what, Tass, like $180,000 in the summer from camp?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an anomaly, maybe. I don't know if that's an anomaly or not, but
right.
I wouldn't know. I don't run summer camp. I did for 20 some years.
It can be a lot of work. There can be a lot of money, but it can be a lot of work.
Or you can have a good system down.
Uh-huh.
I don't think no matter how good of a system you have, I still think it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah. And then sometimes, well, we can talk about that. But yeah, sometimes all the focus ends up being on summer camp, and then our nighttime business starts to go down a little bit as well. I remember when we first started working together, God, this is 12 years ago. And
on the construction site, or you mean in the martial arts industry?
Yeah, both. When we were swinging the hammer that day. No, when we started working together, and I was a client, and I had my summer camp brochure all done with all my 10 weeks laid out and all my themes. All right, we're ready for it. And we just put everything out. And he's like, you're doing summer camp? I'm like, yeah. Oh, we just got rid of ours. I'm like, are you kidding me? So that summer we ran camp. And literally we have 10 weeks of summer. We had a 10-week summer camp. And after week 1, I mean, from 7 a.m. in the morning until, 6 p.m. at night, my guys are like, we have 9 more weeks of this.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I did it forever, right? So did Silverman, and so did a lot of people. Connor, go check with our producer, Michael Perry. See if this is streaming just to his page, his personal page, or if it's streaming everywhere on all the pages. Because Tass and I won't go on with only 18 viewers.
Yeah, well, they shut us down in Russia, so that's a big audience.
Well, I know. We lost, at least 1,500 there.
Yeah. Hey,
I accounted for that.
Did you see, I don't know if there was truth behind it or not. If you read it on the internet, it must be true. But somewhere I saw something where they said, somebody had mentioned the fact that they were asking Tesla to shut down all the electric cars in Russia.
Can you imagine? That would suck because I bought mine from a guy in Russia.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's answer Miss Jenna's question here. Do you suggest no spring camp? I'm not suggesting no summer camp. I'm not suggesting any of that. What I am going to, or what we are going to talk about is how can you, if you don't want to run summer camp, how can you generate summer camp profits without running summer camp, right? There's nothing wrong with camp. Here's the deal. Here's my thing on camps. because again, I want to say it again. I did it for 20 years or so, right? But I haven't done camp. Geez, Tass, if you're telling me when we first came on,
I'll bet you 10 years it's been since the majority of your schools. You had a couple schools that hung on that wanted it because of the revenue, but about 10 years it's been since you've run summer camp.
Right. Wow. So that's a long time. It's crazy. It's crazy how time goes, right? But here's the thing that I believe as a martial artist, right? And as a martial arts student, as a martial arts instructor working for a martial arts school, and then as an owner, I don't ever remember one time dreaming, I can't wait to own my own school and buy a bunch of vans and take kids on field trips or hire a transportation company or watch kids from 7:30 until 4 or 3 or 6 or any. My focus and dream was I'd love to teach martial arts. And in my mind, that was like come in at or start classes at 4 o'clock or 3:30 or 5 or whatever it is and run martial arts classes, you know, and that's it. But what happens is we see the kind of revenue that camps can generate. And we'll start doing after school programs and we'll start doing summer camps, which is why I did it too. And which is why a lot of people in our industry do it. And look, guys, be honest with yourself, right? Here's the question. If you run a summer camp, what would happen tomorrow if your summer camp shut down? If somebody just said you cannot do after school programs or you cannot do summer camp, are you still okay? Can you still keep all your people employed? Are you okay? And are you fine? And if the answer is no, you want to fix that. I mean, I would want to fix that. Maybe you don't want to fix that, but I think I'd want to fix that, right? And then the next question is, well, how would I be able to generate those profits without running a summer camp if I had to? Or if I just decided, like we in Orlando, we just decided we just don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to run summer camps. Well, I don't want to lose 10, 20, 50, $100,000 in revenue, whatever it is, over the summer. So, it's tough. Now, I will share this, and then I'm going to throw it to you, Tass. I will say this. The reason why Tassoul just said a couple schools hung on is some of my top guys, my chief instructors and such, they would be bonused on revenue, right? X amount of revenue, and anything over that revenue, there's bonus. So some of them were scared to lose that revenue until they saw all the other schools we owned get rid of summer camp and actually do more revenue. Then they were working all more, you know, having people come in, making sure things were taken care of, having kids in the school all day. So,
and after school, by the way, and there's one school in particular I'm thinking about, and they had, I think, a record year last year, if not close to a record year, and now not doing after school and summer camp this year, having an unbelievable year, a record year.
That was the last school we had that wanted to keep after school until last year. They stopped. And I've been saying it for 10 years or more on the after school. Get rid of it. You'll do better because we have the systems to do better.
Right.
So anyway, so Tass, go ahead.
So let me throw this at you. So you said the first part, right? Like you never dreamt of like owning a bunch of vans and doing after school. You want to be a martial arts instructor and teach martial arts. And then sometimes what happens is that we're running our martial arts school and we're not generating the revenue that we want or hope that we would do. And whether it's after school or summer camp or the latest shiny object, I mean, how many people jumped on Tybo when it came out, right? But there's sometimes there's these shiny objects and we're like, well, let's go do this. And okay, now this next thing, let's go do this. And we never really fix the core, foundational systems to generate and maximize our revenue within our school and figure out how to recruit students. So we sometimes lean to do these other things to make up for that gap and to generate the revenue that we want. Now, on the flip side, and I will say that this is an anomaly, but what would you say for someone who they have a $215 student value? If you don't know what student value is, you can message us. But they have a $215 student value. We've done everything that we can. They've maximized their school. They've maximized their floor space, their schedule, and they're hitting on all 8 cylinders. Here's the caveat. But they don't have the bench strength to open a second location. Like, there may be, because after school and summer camp, right? Summer camp you can run with more like summer camp counselors, if you will, that don't necessarily have to have martial arts experience. But if someone wanted to continue to grow financially, but just didn't have the instructors or the bench strength to be able to do that, would you say there would be an argument for them doing summer camp or after school at that point?
Would I say there's an argument?
Yeah. By the way, you're talking about a minuscule of the percentage that this happens for. Because in all the years that you consult, I think you said you had 1 school, maybe that had a waiting list for martial arts.
Yeah, two schools, 2 now.
2 schools. So I'm talking about those 2 schools, I guess.
No, there's not a situation for me. There's always an argument for a school owner to have a after-school program or summer camp. I think there's an argument there, no matter what the circumstance is. 1 location, getting ready to open a second, whatever. For me, there is no argument. For me, like, there's nothing that will happen that we will start doing after-school pickups or these 7 a.m. require our schools to do these full-fledged camps. But there is an argument there. Now, if I'm consulting somebody and they want, this. So Tass, if you or I are consulting somebody and they want to open a second location and they don't have the bench strength and they want to open a second location because there's a great deal to be had, and they say, look, I can run a I can run an after-school program or summer camp over there and start generating $15,000 a week, $10,000 a week. What are you going to say?
Well, it depends. It depends if they've got the bench strength or not to do it. And if they're prepared to lose, 2 key staff members within the first 6 months and they can still operate okay.
But if they don't have the bench strength, but they have counselors that can run a program until they get people to really kill their nighttime program.
They'll never, we're never going to not have you make money, right? Like, at the end of the day.
I would, and that's okay. I would say you're not ready to open a second school then.
Well, if you're saying they're going to do a summer camp
or after school pickup program.
Yeah. If they don't have bench strength, because here's the thing. We just know how hard it is to get that bench strength. And so you could do that and you may be stuck in a summer camp and after school program with counselors for, it could be 12 months, could be 18 months, could be 2 years. We just don't know.
And I want to say to people watching this right now, that's okay. If you're being honest with yourself and that's what you love to do. But here's the question. If you have a school that's grossing, I'm making up a number. If you have a school that's grossing $50,000 a month and $30,000 a month is coming from your summer camps and your after school programs and $20,000 is coming from your evening program. Would you like to make $50,000 doing that? Or if you could, would you like to make $50,000 just running classes from 4 to 9 o'clock at night and having an empty school in the daytime to work on your business and not in it? And some people that run after school or summer camp will say, well, I am not in it. I have my staff running it. I understand. The question is what would you rather? I gotta think you would rather not have to do summer camp or after school. I would think, unless that's your business, right? Unless that is your business, and that's okay. I want to keep saying that's okay. Right. Why don't we tell everybody watching, and we can't go into detail because this would be a 4-hour seminar, and you guys know we charge for that. Why don't we give them ways? How do you generate revenue without details? And then somebody asked me a week or 2 ago, was it on this show, Tass, where somebody said, why don't you give free information, or do you guys give free information? I said, we give free information all the time. The value of being in a program like the My Elite program or being a CMA affiliate is we know how most people work. They're not action takers. They got to be held accountable. They got to be pushed. They got to be walked and handheld. To really do it. So we could give you all the secrets in the world, but there's details and accountability and push. So I don't mind sharing, but what are ways to if you're a one man or one woman show and you need to make revenue this summer and you're just tired and you can't run these full camps because you're working 15-hour days because you're a one man or one woman show or a husband and wife team, what are some alternatives? What are some things we can do to generate the profits? Because when you run a summer camp, guys, there's expenses. You got to pay your staff. You got to pay for vans or transportation. If you do field trips, right? You got to pay for supplies. You're opening the school at 7 a.m. or whatever. So there's some electric bills in there or extra costs, but we're talking about profitability when you take everything out. So let's do it. And I'll put it up on here. I'll put number one. What's number one, Tass? I mean, not necessarily the number one thing, but what's one thing?
Well, I got a buddy who just, same thing. He was not big on summer camps at all. Right. And full day. And he didn't even want to do 4-hour summer camps as an example. So for 1 week of the summer, he literally does a 90-minute summer camp from 10 to 11:30, which is a specialized camp. And I don't quote me on it. I don't remember what it was, but I think he charged $99 or $119. But he was literally there for 90 minutes a day for 5 days. So, he wasn't burning himself out. So taking this idea of summer camp and saying, okay, well, can we do a short, number one, a stint of a summer camp? And number two, can we shorten up the time on it to be able to do a specialized camp where you're not going to burn yourself out? This is the other thing too, Metz, is we're going through this list. I'm not sure if we have owners watching or team members watching, but there's reasons why we do the things that we do. And I think the first priority for me and for us and it has been, yes, revenue is important, but not when you have to sacrifice your team or your staff or your employees. And so for me, my first thing is, well, if I was all about the money, which people think we are because we're McDojos, some of these people, right? Not you, but some of the people that will see this will think that. Well, if that was the case, I'd say, well, we're doing all day, every day summer camp, and we're charging $200 a week for summer camp, and you guys are going to have to work 12-hour days. But that's not what's right for the team, and that's not what's right for the longevity of your team and keeping your people happy. And I think, and I said this the other day. I mean, I called you. I talk to Metz pretty much every day, multiple times a day, and it's if he's in the office, there's very few times that I call and don't hear a lot of laughter in the background. And this may sound on cue laughter. Thank you. All right. So I think, when you look at that, you might say, well, what is he talking about? Like, it's so important for people to have fun at work. And when you burn people out doing after school and summer camp, and you may have a separate team that you do that with as well, which is great. But I know for us, that's just not the way we did it. We did it with our existing staff. And so for me, long story short, team preservation is more important than the bottom dollar of the revenue. I want to make sure we have our team have this culture in a place where they can really enjoy themselves. They can work hard, but don't have to be overworked. And the idea ultimately is for them to feel like they're underworked and overpaid, I think is really what the goal is. And you've said that before. So I just want to get that out.
All right. So that's number one. A 1 week, you're a guy, 1 week specialized camp for 90 minutes. Here's the next one, everyone. Next one is, I said, well, look, let's do there it goes. Let's come up with a specialized summer private lesson package that, for example, everybody, depending on how much you want to work, let's say you want to do 1 hour private lesson for 8 weeks. So it's an 8-pack of private lessons once a week for 8 weeks in the summer. I'm making this up, guys, just to understand the concept. Let's say it's $499 for this summer package, but I'm only taking 5 people. I'm only going to allow 5 people. Why 5 people? Because I want to teach an extra hour on Monday, an extra hour on Tuesday, an extra hour on Wednesday, an extra hour on Thursday, and an extra hour on Friday. I just want to work 1 extra hour a day. Now, that's all profit, by the way. That's all profit because there's no expense in having me teach 1 extra hour, right? So So now if I charge $499 or $500 times 5 people, right? That's what is it? 5 times $2,500, $2,500, right? But I was thinking, I was going too fast ahead. 8 weeks is 2 months.
Right.
Is 2 months. So that's an extra $1,250 a month in profit for working 1 extra hour a day.
Right.
Now you may sit here and say, man, I can get 5 students to pay $499. But then the other key here on the presentation is we don't just say, hey, buy an 8-pack of privates. We sell them in 4 different packages. We sell an 8-pack of a sparring private lesson package, a curriculum private lesson package, a weapons private lesson package, or a combination private lesson package, where it's a little bit of sparring, a little weapons, a little this, or whatever your art is, whatever you want to do, but you theme it. Well, for an extra hour, okay, I'll make an extra $2,500 over 8 weeks. So now, how much did you say this guy would charge for 90 minutes for the week? 90 minutes a day, $99?
Call it. I think it was more than that, but just call it $99.
So $99. Let's say you get 10 people that want to do this 90-minute thing for 1 week in June. Let's say 1 week, right? You get 10 people. That's $1,000. Now we're at 1,000 for that. We're at 2,500. So now I've generated $3,500 in profit for working an extra hour a week for the private lessons, but only 90 minutes for the month times 5, right? For the month. It's only 1 week, right? Okay, what's a third thing?
I'm going to go controversial. Here it comes. Ready. So a belt advancement camp or a catch-up. Yeah.
You went there, people they're tuning out right now.
I went there. Or if you would rather, if this resonates with you better, you could do a catch-up camp for people.
Let me call it that.
Yeah. So a catch-up camp, you have people that are going to be out for summer, as an example, right? And they're not attending, or maybe they're not attending as much as they normally do. And as you get closer to the end of summer, you can have a 1-week catch-up camp. And again, we learned from this as well. We used to do this catch-up camp. Early drop-off was at 7 o'clock or 7:30 in the morning. They'd pick them up at 5 o'clock at night. We'd run the camp from 9 to 3. We don't do that anymore. It's a 4-hour camp. It's literally, and you could do 8 to noon. You could do noon to 4. Again, if I'm doing it, and I know our industry, we don't typically do the 8 to noon thing. We do a noon to 4 type thing, or even a 10 to 2. And the reason why is we have a young team. They're not up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning to get in and do these programs. So a little 4 hours a day, catch them up, get them where they need to be so they can stay on track. You're charging for the camp. The camp would be inclusive of, let me give another controversial thing, their testing fee, if you charge a testing fee, but they're paying something for that camp.
And listen, let me put the disclaimer out there. If you have students that have been gone for a month or 2 in the summer, right? And they're usually, let's just say they usually come twice a week. Well, that's 8 hours if the classes were an hour, right? And most of you aren't running 1-hour classes today, but that's 8 hours in a month, or 16 hours over 2 months. Well, don't let them fall behind and have all their friends progress. You have a makeup camp, which is 20 hours for the week, so they can catch up on their missed classes and be able to test, and they may pass or fail. It's a test, right? They may test, so they can stay on track and make up for the time they lost. But Tass, when you do a 4-hour camp, I know we all sell that out, right? For people that have been out, because parents, it's important to parents. They don't want to see their kids fall behind from being out on vacation. What do you charge for the 4 hours for a week?
Listen, for us, that's a premium camp. And I'll tell you what we do. I mean, we charge a premium for that camp. I think we charge, now look, we charge $299 for the camp, but we have an early bird registration, because you always need to have the 4 steps of selling. You got to give people a reason to get signed up. So, if they sign up early, it's going to be $199, right? So they're saving $100. And then the next month it might go to $249 or $229. Then next month. So we're marketing those things now for July and August, right? So give people a reason. If I say, well, I want to be clear about this. If I say, well, look, we charge $199 for camp, you're going to go back and you're going to say, well, we tried that, it didn't work. Well, because you may just put $199, you start doing it now, you may get some people that sign up for it. But whether they sign up today, a week from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, there's no difference for them. And you want to create some excitement, and you have to create some scarcity. And the scarcity for us is we only accept, I think we topped it out at 30 is what we do. And every year we sell that camp out, 30 people at 200. Let's just say it's only $200.
That's what I was going to say. But and say it's 20 people.
Okay, 20 people at $200. That's $4,000 in revenue that we generated for 1 week or 4 hours a day of a catch-up camp. So that's another $2,000 a month in revenue if we're looking at over the course of summer.
So where are we? We're at 4,000 plus 2,500. That's 6,500 plus another 1,000. We're at $7,500 right now.
Right.
In profit again, because there's no expense here. No expense. All right. Next thing. This is the easiest thing that all of you can do.
And keep in mind, team, these are concepts and ideas, and you guys can run with the ideas or change it, tweak it, do whatever you want to, or you don't have to do. I mean, you don't have to do any of it.
So another thing that we do is we do little mini summer seminars. So if your classes, for example, start at 5 p.m. in the evening, right? We will do once a week. And I think Wednesday was the best day, right? For you guys, Wednesdays. So for whatever reason, Wednesday seemed to be the best day, but you can do Wednesday, you can do Friday, but let's say classes start at 5. 1 day a week on every Wednesday for 8 weeks, let's say, at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, we'll do a mini summer seminar. And every week it'll have a different theme to the seminar. And we charge, what, $99 for the summer? $99 for the whole summer, which is 8 weeks, right? If somebody didn't want to do that, you could charge, what did we do, $20? $20 for each seminar. But if they make 5 or more, they might as well do the 99. Even if they're going to miss a couple, it's still cheaper just to do the 99. Well, let's just say you only get 20 kids that can do these little mini seminars, because I want to do the weapons, the kicks and tricks, the grappling seminar, the takedown seminar, the sparring seminar, whatever you want to do. And you get 20 kids. There's another $2,000. So now we're at $9,500 in just profit. Now, if you're thinking, well, man, this is a lot of work. No, it's not. We're working 1 extra hour a day on the lessons. We're doing 90 minutes a day for just 1 week right now. And the end of summer, you're doing 1 week of 4 hours. But as Taz said, you could do 12 to 4, which is normal work hours anyway, right? And that's 1 week. So we're not breaking our backs here. And this is just 1 extra hour a day for 8 weeks right before classes start. So now you're at $9,500 in pure profit for the summer. What else, Taz? What's the big one that will blow everybody and then we'll give some numbers from people. What else do we do in the summer for 1 week?
Are you talking about for revenue?
Uh-huh.
Let me think. Oh, that one. Christmas in July.
Look, it was already typed, guys. We know what we're doing. There it is on the screen. So before I'm going to set it up, this is a 1 week sale. Normal classes. We don't cancel classes. It's 1 week. It's not earlier. It's during classes. What's some of the revenue people make in Christmas in July for the 1 week?
Well, I'm going to get $20,000 because I don't want to. You're going to tell me if I say 100, no one's going to believe me. But I'll say $20,000 so you guys believe me.
What's real? What are some of the numbers you're
finding?
I
mean, listen, it's not uncommon. I mean, used to be December was the worst month. December is now one of the best. It is the best month of the year. Used to be July was one of the worst. Summer was one of the worst times. The worst. July is typically the second best month of the year. I mean, it's not uncommon for people to do $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 during their Christmas in July sale, plus whatever other revenue that they're doing in their school. So we've had clients do over $100,000 for Christmas in July. But again, I say those things, and then, you know, it's like, well, there's no possible way, and it becomes this unbelievable number, but they're real numbers. It's not contract value, because some people are going, oh, I know what they're doing. They're taking they must have 5-year programs, and it's contract. It's not contract value.
It's cashing everybody out.
Or it's cashing everybody out. And that's not the way it goes. And if you watch some of our other stuff, you'll see on how we do marketing for summer to get a large number of students into our school. And our billing check will actually go up. It doesn't go down in most cases, right? So,
you know what? Hey, if any of our clients on here, if you've done Christmas in July, what'd you do in Christmas in July? So this gentleman, which by the way,
just started with it.
Just right. Yeah. So he did $20,000. So by the way, now we're at $30,000 in revenue. If all you did was 20, right? And by the way, this isn't any extra hours at work. But go ahead. I mean, if you guys have done a Christmas in July sale, put your numbers up. But go ahead, Tass.
Yeah, and look, the thing is, you know, for those of you may that have done a holiday event, if you have never done a holiday event, you probably should reach out. But if you've done holiday events, you know, sometimes people go crazy on the holiday event in December, and they decorate and they turn their school into a winter wonderland, and it's work, but the payoff is huge. The difference with Christmas in July is we don't transform our school into now you can if you want to, but too many times what happens is we put the focus on the wrong thing. We put the focus on, I'm going to decorate the school, it's going to be amazing, and all these. And by the way, that's really cool if you want to do that, as long as you're getting the results. But oftentimes what happens is if we just focus on making this, and we actually do, in full disclosure, you know, we discovered this a couple of years ago. We actually do 2 weeks for Christmas in July. And I'll give you a little bit more of the details, but 1 week is all about retail. So that's all of our focus is on retail and doing a discount. It's never as big as our holiday event. And number 2, the second week that we do is all about their programs. And, you know, so we don't have to transform the school. We're already there. I mean, for us, it's as easy as throwing the magazines out, putting up a couple posters, making some announcements, letting people know it's our big, you know, one of our biggest sales of the year as far as retail. And then the second week, it's just about us booking appointments. That's really all it is. It is not difficult at all. It's the key. I'll give you the secret. The secret is when you have a number of appointments booked, regardless of when it is, anytime throughout the course of the year, we say this all the time, show me your appointment book and I will tell you the success of your school. But because this is a system or concept that we teach and everybody gets on board and everybody does it, everyone gets hyper focused on getting a lot of appointments during that week or during that month. And what happens, you see everybody's gross revenue start to move to the top. Now, you could do that every single month if you wanted to, right? It's a matter of just getting more appointments in your appointment book and then knowing what and how to do it the right way where it's fair for everybody. And that's really what it comes down to.
And Mr. Yates, listen, this is going to sound like a ploy, but what Christmas in July entails is, here it is in a nutshell. Discounts on every service you offer in your school. All your retail, private lessons, if you charge for testings, it's 1 week in July where you give all your customers an opportunity to save some money, everything from their tuition, but you're not cashing people out. That's the last thing you want to do. There's a system that's involved with this that starts the moment the first of the year starts, January 1. If you want more information on that, just reach out and we can explain it to you. I mean, most people are afraid to reach out to us because you're going to realize how much money you leave on the table, and you're going to want to sign up with Maya.
But
in all seriousness, there's a system here, because if I told you, oh, you do this, you're going to flop, you're going to fail, and you could hurt your school. There's a system, and I'm sitting in this. Do you remember what your Christmas in July was the last time you did a Christmas in July? Do you have any idea?
I want to say it was like 50 grand.
50 grand?
Just for the week, yeah.
50,000 for the week, you know?
Well, and two, in all fairness to you, Mr. Yates, we don't know how you're currently set up.
That's right.
We would want to make sure, in all fairness to we're big on integrity for the students. So If we just say, here's what it is, and you go do it, it may not have integrity with what you're already doing as an example. Not that we're doing anything wrong. It's just you don't want to give someone a deal where someone else doesn't have the opportunity to do that. So we want to know more of the makeup of your school, how things are laid out, what we can do. And that's one of the biggest things that when we work with clients, and anybody on here that's a client knows this, we never, ever take away things. We only give and offer more. And so just to be fair to Mr. Yates, and anybody watching, right, we would want to know more of, what your existing culture is, what the programs they're on now, how can we blend all that stuff together and make it work the right way for you, as opposed to just giving you an overall, like, here's what it is. And you try and, like you said, you go do it and you flop and you say, well, it didn't work, because there's certain things that have to line up. That's all. Do you see Mr. Arsman on here?
Yes, sir.
51.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir. Mr. Arsaman. Great guy, great martial artist, great students, great staff, great organization, and crushing it.
Yep,
great business and great business, all around. So look, there are more, but here you go. I mean, just with 5, we gave you 5 ideas you can do in the summer if you need to make sure that your revenue, your profit, right? Now, the Christmas in July is a lot of profit. It's just the margin on some of your retail, but that's a small portion. Most of your Christmas in July revenue will be based on services. So in theory, that's all profit. There's no expense for your service, right? For example, private lessons or your programs that you offer or however you run the business. But here we are where we have like $30,000 in profit over the summer, where you can enjoy yourself or not worry about kids running around, wear and tear on the school. And I'm not deterring that. Now, here's what some of you may be thinking. Well, man, what if I do these ideas? I'll do this and I'll run summer camp. Never works out that way. Look, the biggest schools that we work with, and Tass, you correct me if I'm wrong with some of your clients, but the most successful schools, they do not have summer camp or after school programs. They don't. And by the way, the most successful schools are doing over $1 million a year in one location in revenue, over $1 million a year. There might be some people out there that run summer camp and after school that are doing $1 million a year. There may be, right? There may be. But I would bet that if you're doing that with after school and summer camp, you're managing and working a lot harder than these other schools that are doing $1 million a year that don't have that. Okay.
So I have a client, Metzger, I've been around for 6 years.
Oh, Mr. Yates, that's great. Great job. And that's terrific.
The ones that don't work are from Metzger. So I need to get most of the ideas.
That's why we have both of us on these shows.
I'm just thinking, you said that out loud. I have a client that's been with me for 6 years. He was doing $55,000 a month in his school and had after school and summer camp at that time. Fast forward, did 1.3 million last year. No summer camp, no after school. I mean, over double.
I didn't know he had after school and summer camp. Really?
Yep.
Was he afraid to get rid of it?
Not after he started making more money.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Most people are afraid because it's a revenue grab, guys. I mean, there's nothing about it. Look, call it what it is. After school pickup programs and summer camps are a necessity. So of course it's easier to get people. It's not easier to run. It's not easier to manage as opposed to, hey, I got 250 students and I have classes in the evening and my school is quiet. I have a little music on. I have appointments. I plan my day and I can start running at 4 o'clock until 9 with my students and make $1.3 million. But it's a necessity. Their parents need somewhere for their kids. So a lot of people, because they don't have the systems down, will be like, man, I could charge $99 a week for after school or more. I could charge $199 a week for summer camp. I could get 50 kids in here, be bringing in $10,000 gross dollars a week, $40,000 a month in gross dollars. And parents need it. So we could fill this up, and we'll organize this and we'll do it. Be honest with yourself. I think that's probably the majority of you, the reason you do it. But if you can make 40,000, by the way, if you're running summer camp, because I've done it, and all of our clients, your client did it. You're not going to generate the revenue in the evening. You can't because of the schedule of your camps or your after school and the management of that and everything else. It's very hard. It's very hard to maximize your evening while you're also maximizing a after school or summer camp program.
It's tough to have team meetings when there's a bunch of kids running around. And by the way, this idea that some people get in their head, you just said it. Man, if I could sign up 50 kids at $199 a week, that's $10,000 a week. And then you decide that you're going to go for it. Now, I'm just going to say it. Typically, the schools that a lot of times, if this is truly a cash grab, it's because you're not maximizing your nighttime program. If you can't figure out how to get people in your nighttime program, even though it's a necessity, what makes you think you're going to get 50 people in your summer camp? And then what the reality is this: you end up going all in, whatever that is, right? Committing to it. You do some marketing of some sort. And there's weeks where you have 20 kids. There's weeks where you have 12 kids. Maybe some weeks you have 8 kids, 30 kids. It's like this. You're like, damn, that's not what I wanted. And then it's a complete letdown for you because it's not what this vision that you had painted in your head isn't aligned with what the reality is. I mean, if we could get 50 kids in a summer camp, take that energy and go put that energy into building your nighttime program and maximizing your revenue from your nighttime program, and then doing this list of other things, it's working smarter, not harder. But again, there's people that may watch this like, well, we have an extremely successful summer camp. We have a whole separate summer camp crew. That's fantastic, team. That's awesome. If you guys are doing it, you enjoy doing it, your team enjoys doing it, you're maximizing your nighttime program, then that's awesome. But this is for people that are like, they maybe you're a single owner operator. Maybe you have another job and you can't do all day summer camp because you're at your other job. These are other ways that you can generate revenue, where maybe you just have to take a week's vacation to do a little camp or a couple day vacation, but the other stuff you can do in the afternoon. Christmas in July is during class hours. You don't need to have off for that. So for those of you that are single owner operators and maybe have another job where you can't do some of those things to generate revenue, this is a great list of things for you to be able to do and be able to do that revenue without killing yourself and killing your team. So,
and I'll say it again, there is nothing wrong with doing summer camp and after school if you have a great system and you truly love doing it. But I think there's something wrong with doing summer camp and after school because you don't know how to generate revenue in the evening and run a good business model in the evening. That's not an excuse not to know that. One of our consultants, Adam Parman, does phenomenal with summer camp, and he's our summer camp. If somebody gets in touch with us and they want to know about summer camp or after school,
he's the guy.
We talk to Adam Parman because he's the one that I told you did like 180,000 in the summer.
Right.
But he also knows the evening business.
Right.
He also knows how to run the evening programs, and you could do that, right? But if you're truly doing it because you feel you need to do it, then you're missing out, right? And so you just don't know how to run the evening program and generate and maximize revenue in the evening. Period. End of story. I mean, that's it. So we'd like to help you. And by the way, why would I care if you do after school or summer camp? And if it was so good and makes so much money, why am I not doing it myself in my schools? There's a reason. There's a reason, everybody. So anyway, how many summer campers do we have signed up right now? I'm only kidding. So anything else?
50, but there's only 2. God, what a miserable summer that would be, watching 3 kids for freaking 10 hours a day.
Hey, I remember walking in on Silverman 25 years ago.
Careful.
He was at his house. He was in his school, and it was Bobby Dixon,
Yeah.
a buddy of ours. Bobby Dixon and I were driving around, and we went and stopped and saw Silverman before we started doing this stuff after school summer camp. It might have been longer than that. And Silverman was in his school, and there were like 3 kids in there, and he was working all day. And we left there going, oh my gosh, like he's got to be hating that, right? But that's part of the process.
He wasn't in the office taking a nap while the kids were watching a movie.
But guess who started doing after school and summer camp right after that? We did. Yeah. Bobby and I both started doing that in our schools. But we don't do it anymore. I think Bobby still does, but Silverman and I, we haven't, like you said, 10 years plus. I mean, by the way, you know what was great? Hey, listen, everybody, here's a tip for you. Here's a little tip for you. Listen up.
We're listening.
If you guys are running after school in summer and you're sitting here thinking, you know what? I'm going to call these 2 clowns and really learn how to do this, and I'm going to get rid of after school in summer. If you're thinking that, which I know, hold on, my phone's ringing off the hook here. Here's the deal. There's no better time to sell your vans if you own vans.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get top dollar for your vans right now.
Even if they don't have catalytic converters, you'll be fine.
By the way, even if you don't have catalytic converters, you don't need it. They are paying so much money. How do I know? Well, we have a real estate company, and you know this, Tass. And we had a couple vans left from when we did after school or summer from the last school, the school you were talking about, our Curry Ford school that doesn't do it anymore. But we kept them for our property maintenance guy, you know, to drive the vans around. Well, one was like rusted, filthy, had dirt this thick in the whole back because we took the seats out because he used it for supplies and everything else. Got top dollar from CarMax on this van. Top dollar. I don't even remember what it is. We were taking bets in the office. We did a poll on what we thought. Some people said 0. Some people said they won't take it. I think we got, I don't know, $2,500 for it. I mean, it was one. Keep talking. I'm going to show you a picture.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. And yeah, by the way, if that is, here's the thing. If you're hearing this, you're like, wow, this really makes sense. We may not, and I do have clients, like I said, that have there's a few clients that I have that before they started working with me that have after school. Well, we're not going to just dump after school out of the gates. We're same thing as consultants. Not only do we take care of your students, but we're going to take care of you and make sure that you're not going backwards and making less money. So we'll get your nighttime program going, and then you can make the decision whether or not if you want to get rid of your after school and summer camp. You must have found
here. This was after a day of cleaning with 3 people. This was after one day. Here's the van that CarMax took back. That was all rusted on the outside.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yep.
Is that how you guys cleaned that out before you brought it to them?
No, I mean, that was after one day of cleaning, and then they cleaned some more out, but we were like, take it to CarMax, see what they would do.
Who was clean? Wait, who was cleaning it? Because it doesn't look like they did very much. Holy man.
And that was right before they went and picked up a group of after schoolers.
Shoved them all in the back.
That's it. So, hey, if you trust us, and I would say, look, if you do after school or summer camp, call us up, be honest, tell us what you did, and we will tell you if we can get you to make more revenue in the summer than whatever you were doing, so you can sell these vans, make top dollar, and then we'll go to work.
And
right?
you said it, be honest, right? Be honest with yourself. And a lot of times people that are doing summer camp, all the gross revenue dollars are all thrown together, and you really should separate your nighttime program from your after school and summer camp. And then what you need to do is separate your expenses for each. And I think here's what you'll find when you look at the cost of the vans and the insurance and the staff and the payroll, what really is that spread? And then how much are you really making per month, per year? And then look at, okay, well, how can we generate that revenue in our nighttime program? That's the other big thing that we see is the allure, right? Gross feeds the ego, right? Net feeds the family. And so when you look at it from a gross revenue standpoint, there's a lot of gross that's generated from after school and summer camp, but nobody ever considers, and I've had this conversation a lot lately, but nobody ever considers the expenses that go along with that. And if you look at those things, I think you're going to find the expenses are pretty high, and that really shrinks that gross revenue down. But again, look at it for yourself and see if it makes sense for you.
And again, guys, we're not trying to convince you one way or the other. We're just telling you, you have choices. You have choices, right? So with that, any questions from anybody? Come on, give us a question.
Just unmute and ask us.
Yeah, go ahead. Unmute. Yep. Any questions?
Type them in if there's any questions. Someone's looking for the unmute button right now.
Well, Tass, how's weather? You're wearing a sweatshirt, man.
Well, it's rainy and about 40, I think. So Friday, I got back into town Friday. Friday night it snowed about 4 inches. Saturday was about 50, 55. Sunday was between 55 and 60. Beautiful sunshine. All the snow went away, and then it turned to rain and cold and sleet again this week. So we just need to get to April. Not like the Florida sunshine.
Gotcha. Well, Tass, nobody has any questions. So with the
Oh, interesting. No,
not at all. No, we do not necessarily prefer adult classes over kids classes to generate more income. As a matter of fact, I believe kids will generate more income than adults.
Parents are likely to spend, I forget the number, 5 to 10 times more on their kids than they are on themselves. So no, and I don't know if you may have come in late too, sir, but no, that's not at all what we're saying, right? And the majority of our students are in our organization, our kids. We do have some of our schools, right? And the people that we consult that are MMA and BJJ schools that are adults. At the end of the day, I mean, you can do fine either way. This was just a discussion about summer camp and generate revenue from summer camp or after school, and how to replace that income if it's something that you didn't want to do.
And for some of you that are MMA schools, here's an MMA text from, here you go. This was December 30th at 8:47 p.m. in American Top Team MMA School in Orlando here, right? Mostly adults. Here was the text I got, just so you see it, because of the way we do sales.
Well, they didn't do 100,000. They did 103.
Yep.
Dang.
And you see the time on there? Just so everyone can see the date.
Oh, right after your bedtime.
Yeah, I go to bed around 7, but I got it the next day. So my point is it doesn't matter, guys. Systems are systems. You know, it's either you want to see what we're all about if you haven't, or that's okay if you don't. We're going to keep trying to give you info here. And we know you're not going to be able to do it yourself, though. I mean, we know that. We know that because there's so many details. There's just details. So
Mr. McGraw asked a question about pre-staging for the events 3 to 4 weeks. And Mr. McGraw, I know you're in some of our other programs. And look, there's just a few ideas here for some, but there's definitely more. But the thing I would tell you is, and this is what we do, because it can be a lot to throw out at once. But what I do and what we do in our school is we find out, well, what are the biggest things as far as revenue that we can generate, whether that's a mini camp as an example. Obviously, Christmas in July is one we talked about. We talked about the belt camp, but we'll kind of phase it out, and we'll go through and try and get as many people signed up for, you know, our 4-hour camp as an example, because we know that's the biggest revenue pool. And then we'll get that filled, and then we'll release our mini camps, as opposed to putting everything out there and confusing people as to what things they should sign up for. You may want to push private lesson packages, those 5 private lesson packages Mr. Metzger talked about earlier. You may want to do that first, and then release your camps and get that done. But now is the time for you to be pushing all those things. And as you start getting those things filled, keep releasing the next one. But if you put out, here's the 17 things that we're doing for summer, people are going to be very confused, not sure what to sign up for.
And there's systems on that too, guys, as far as how you promote it, when you promote it, the opportunities to promote it. There's just details on that. And Mr. Fry, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So there you go.
All right.
And
he must have been talking to Mr.
to you.
Fry.
There you go. All right. Well, Tass, I'll touch base. We have a 2:30 meeting. You want to join us on that, or?
Did you like my dramatic pause?
Yeah, I like it.
You all should do that when you go to enroll a student. Just sit and wait quietly. I have a call at 2 and at 3. Well, at 1 and 2 my time. So maybe.
Okay.
At 2 and
all
3
right.
my time. Excuse me. So I might be able to be on for the first 30 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to be.
Meeting may only be 30 minutes.
Then I'll be on.
But all right, guys, thank you.
You got to come up with all these summer ideas that we just laid out so people know what to do, because I don't know if they know what to do.
What they do is private message you, try out Elite, change their life forever. Simple.
Very good.
What's this? I am teaching during the live shows now and only able to catch the last little bit live. Thank you, Miss Cassandra. Go back, watch from the beginning. We gave you 5 ideas you can do in the summer. And what times do you run summer camp for the 2 hours? Tass, what was the summer camp for the 2 hours?
I don't know. No, I'm just teasing. It was 90 minutes, I think. But by the way, that was an example. It could be an hour a day. It could be 2 hours a day, 90 minutes a day. I think he did like 10 to 11:30 is what he did. But, whatever fits your schedule, right?
Right. It's a concept, everybody. It doesn't have to be complicated. Set the price accordingly. You're going to get people if you know where to set your price. I mean, if you're a school that charges $50 a month and a school that charges $150 a month for lessons or whatever, your prices may be different for this stuff that you offer, depending on, what your customers are accustomed to. So it's all about what kind of revenue do you need to generate in the summer that's going to make you happy and your customers happy. It's not about what the guy down the street's doing. Okay. So good luck, guys. Plan it out, and we hope to see you soon or talk to you soon. If you haven't registered for the Super Show, come see us in Vegas. We'll be there.